thought that in the year 2025, fans would not be expected to boo a player from the other team. But here we are. Welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Last night, Wednesday night, the Indiana Fever took on and defeated the Phoenix Mercury, and it was the first time they had to face off against DeWanna Bonner since she abandoned the team. Now, leading up to the game, there had been conversations over some days as to how the Fever fans would respond to DeWanna. I saw some people say, let's be real, they're going to boo her. I heard someone say, or read something where someone said, I hope that the Fever fans don't give any ammunition because you know everybody's ready to push the narrative about Indiana Fever fans. So I hope they don't say anything. And then in the live stream this week, I had said, I hope they absolutely ignore her, recognizing that she was likely to get booed. But I was like, I hope that they don't even give her the time of day. And I shared a story about when I was coaching. I would also go to the boys' games. I coached girls varsity, and I would go to the boys' games, and there was one team, one school we would play, and when they were doing the announcements, the people in the stands who were fans of the other team, they would all pull out newspapers, and everybody would have a newspaper over their face. So if you looked on that side of the gym, you would just see a bunch of newspapers because they brought their newspapers, and that was their way of saying, we ain't studying you. I don't know if you're familiar with the expression studying. That's something that Black folks say sometimes. I ain't studying you, right? I couldn't care less. And that was what they would do. Oh, it seemed so rude, but they were making a statement. You're not anything to be bothered with. So we talked about that in my live stream. I said that would be so funny if Indiana Fever fans all pulled out newspapers, and it'd be really funny if it happened to be a newspaper story about how DeWanna Bonner had stopped showing up for work and then walked off, left. In any case, the fans did what the fans do, and they booed DeWanna Bonner because as much as they embraced her when she came, they don't appreciate the way she left. So after the game, in the post-game press conference, Kahleah Copper had some comments about booing Fever fans. I don't mean Fever fans being booed. I mean they are booing, or they were booing, DeWanna Bonner. Okay, boo? All right, so let's go on over to YouTube, to the Phoenix Mercury's account.
I spoke to Coach a few times earlier today. Kind of asked him what his expectations were from this Fever crowd about DeWanna Bonner coming back for the first time. How do you think she handled playing in front of this crowd, and what was it like kind of being behind her for this game?
I think she handled it well. I mean, I don't understand, like she a legend and just all the things that she's done for the league. And just the disrespect, I can't get down with it. They booed her. She didn't say a word to the crowd. People talk some trash to her, but we had her back. But it's just very distasteful for what their fan base is doing. As far as when it comes to DB, because it's just like she's just the sweetest soul. And the situation didn't work for her, and that's just not what she wanted or whatever. But it's just, we don't need all of that. It's just unnecessary.
What I don't understand, now she's telling us what she doesn't understand. What I don't understand is why she doesn't understand. We don't need all of that. She's a sweet soul. She's a legend. This is sports. And I don't advocate for nastiness. I don't advocate for threats. But booing, I'm going to say that, has there ever been a legend who hasn't been booed? She really looks confused. Now, at least it's not what I've seen before from Kahleah Copper in post-game conferences. I did a video on that in which she was like, she's saying to the reporter, is that a real question? Are you done? So at least it wasn't that. But she seriously seems like she doesn't understand. She feels like DeWanna Bonner doesn't deserve it. She feels like we don't need to have all that. This isn't something new in sports. Athletes get booed, especially athletes who walk away from their team.
Did you talk to her during the game, I guess, just try and pick her spirits up, or is that something you guys believe?
No, we were.
I gotta stop here because I want you to notice how this questioning is going. There is a strong desire to denigrate the fan base in the arena. As we know, this is nothing new. And so it's like, she's a professional athlete. And this guy actually really did ask the question, did you try to pick up her spirits after she got booed? Again, I'm not talking about denigrating someone. I'm not talking about threatening someone. I'm talking about a fan who steps on the court. I'm talking about a player who steps on the court and fans boo her. And he's asking these grown women, professional basketball players, were you able to help her pick herself up and persevere? But again, notice how the line of questioning is going. It's by design to further make the Indiana Fever fan base look like horrible, horrible people. It's tiring.
Not really worried. We just was just like whatever. Like, I mean, some people said some things, but it just was like whatever. Like he did it all night, so it was like just not something that we wanted to give our energy to. But she handled it well. Yeah, she handled it well.
When you say people were saying things, just fans in the stands, or
Yeah, the fans. I mean, they booed her. Some people said some stuff about her leaving, and just yelling, yeah.
Were there any positives you can take away from the atmosphere in this arena and how that compares to the rest of the leagues?
Is there anything at all positive you can say about this fan base? Any positives you can take away? Listen, she's a basketball player. She's there to play basketball. How do the Fever fans compare to the rest of the league? Any positives at all? The whole line of questioning is wild to me.
Someone had a sign that said DB with a crown over top of it. That was the best thing about it.
I'll say again, I've seen Kahleah Copper in a post-game press conference before that was just off the charts. She's rather calm, and I was surprised because that was my recollection of her in a post-game conference. But it's just strange, distasteful for fans to boo. Are we not understanding that, you call her a legend? The legends are the ones who draw the attention. And I remember a time when you would actually practice, even myself in high school, you would actually have your players practice shooting free throws while you created noise and booing and all this stuff, because that was to be expected. Not dirty, nasty stuff, but the booing and the hoping you lose and cheering for your own team, those things were to be expected. In the WNBA, it's like, how did you manage to persevere in your profession when fans booed you? It's wild. Listen, DeWanna Bonner had a contract, had an opportunity, was well embraced, decided not only that she was going to leave, which in my opinion is bad enough when you have a contract, but she stopped showing up to work. So I figured maybe she come back and maybe they could ignore her, which might have been even more painful. I like the newspaper idea, but come on. The chances of that were slim to none, and it turned out to be to none. They booed her. It happens. Turning your post-game press conference into that is strange to me, and calling it distasteful because she's a sweet soul and a legend, and you're surprised that she got booed. I'm surprised that you're surprised. How's that? Welcome back, DeWanna Bonner. All right, I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.